Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm very excited for today's video because we have a new palette from Nomad Cosmetics. So I did get this in PR. I'm very thankful for that. This was delayed, so as I'm filming this, the palette has already been fully revealed and launches in about 2 days. So this will be going up, I think, launch day or the day before, depending on how fast I can edit it. But very excited to try this out. As soon as I saw the sneak peeks, I kind of knew what the theme was and was very hyped. Really love their fall palettes in general. I mean, I love all of Nomad's palettes, but their fall palettes are, I think, typically my favorite. So very excited for this. So I'm gonna do swatches on my olive undertone so you can see what that looks like. And then I think I'm gonna try to do 3 looks so that I can get an idea of most of the shades and then give you my thoughts. This is gonna be obviously a first impression. I'm not gonna have time to use this for a week or 2 to really know what I think, but very excited to do this first impression. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Colin. I'm a non-binary Latinx scientist and lover of makeup with a definite soft spot for indie makeup and high-end makeup. And I tend to take a pretty analytical approach to my collection, my makeup reviews. I try to use things over and over again and give you really thorough insight into them. So if you are not subscribed, I would love it if you would. Okay, so this is the new Nomad Ghost Town USA palette. Very, very excited to use this. I looked at it last night when it came, and it is beautiful. So this was fully revealed yesterday. And normally I get these a few days before so I can film and try it out multiple days in a row and have a video up when it's revealed, but mine got delayed and it looked like it might not be here until next week after the launch, but thankfully it did come last night at like 8 p.m. So I'm very excited to play with this today. This is the outer box, really beautiful, spooky, you know, it's almost Halloween. It's the end of August, almost September, so it's that perfect time of year. I really like Nomad's fall releases. They tend to do, you know, seasonal quarterly releases. And last year's was my favorite, which is the Hudson Valley. And the year before that was Haunted Europe. So very excited for this. This is one of their larger 18 pan palettes. So this is $49 before discount code. I do have a code with Nomad. It is BONES. And that'll save you 10%. It's not affiliated. I don't earn any money from that. But it does save you money. Definitely use someone's code if you do pick this up. And it's not limited edition, so if you can't afford to get it right now or don't want to get it at launch, want to wait, you know, you can. It is going to be around for a while. And then when you pull out the palette, this is what the actual palette looks like. And similar to some of the other ones they've done, like Haunted Europe, it has this effect. I forget what this is called. This was big in the 90s. But it's got the, you know, Nomad Cosmetics logo, and then it has, you know, a saloon. It has a Wild West town. Looks like it's probably like Utah or something based on the geography. And then when you do it this way, it turns into the front cover. It turns into the ghost town version of it. So the whole theme is ghost towns, gold rush, Wild West, all of that. Really excited to play with this. And then when you open it up, it does have the little paper. I do really love that everything they make is recyclable or compostable, you know, so you've got recyclable paper here. The package it actually came in is recyclable. And then you've got a nice big mirror. And it's got that wood grain around it and it says help right there. And then you've got the 18 colors. Really like this layout, really like this color story. I think this is gonna be popular. It's kind of a mix of cool neutrals and like desaturated colors, which is a vibe that I really like. So you've got these cool tone neutrals here in mattes. You've got these more gray blue, like this looks kind of gray, these are blue. And then these kind of more desaturated greens over here, and then a dark kind of charcoal-y looking color it looks like. And then you've got 3 rows of shimmers. You've got some green golds. This one looks really beautiful. It's called Smoky Quartz. And on camera, you're mostly probably just getting kind of a blue-gray, but in person, there's all kinds of sparkle, gold, pink, blue. It's really beautiful. And then you've got some more, we've got like a rosy tone, a neutral here, and then these are kind of like warm, desaturated coppers is kind of what I would call that. So really excited to try this out. So I'm gonna swatch in a second, but before I do, there is a bonus that came in this. So sometimes you get like a little perk, like for the Whistler Snow Lodge palette, there were different like little hotel tags, like the do not disturb tags. This one, the postcard that came in they always come with a postcard. So it says gold panning and ghost hunting. It has a thing about the destination on the back. And the front says Ghost Town USA, and it has a little scratch thing. So I talked to the owner, and she was saying that this was the idea that you could like pan for gold yourself. So there's, like 1,000 of these, and 10 of them are winners and will win money. So I'm gonna do that real quick and scratch and see what happens. So here's my little gold, pan for gold. So scratch here, and then I already grabbed a quarter. Had to actually hunt this down because I don't normally have cash. I actually have a little jar of cash for when I go to drag shows that I have dollars. And for some reason I do have some change in there. Okay, so it's just like, normal scratch off thing. Okay, so I did not win $100, but I did get a code for 15% off my next purchase. So that's really cool. And I think this is a really fun thing to send out. So curious to see what other people get. Okay, now that I have the scratch off stuff all over me, let's get into swatches. So I'm gonna turn my camera and do it down on my arm so that you can see them nice up and close. I'm not gonna put any primer on, I'm just gonna take my watch off. And welcome to my arm. So I'm gonna swatch on my forearm and try to do the best I can. I always like to say swatches give you an idea of what the color is gonna look like, especially if you have, like me, an olive undertone or an undertone that's gonna affect the colors, but swatches don't tell you how things are gonna perform. So always take that with a grain of salt. So here is that cover again. Really love that. And then open it up, and it is so pretty. So I am going to just go, I'm swatching upright. I normally start here, but I'm gonna start down here and work my way across and just kind of go, I think I'm gonna do the mattes first, just so I don't mix sparkle in. So the first one, and I'm gonna ruin all the embossings. So the first one is this Undead Sheriff shade. Feels very soft, like a typical Nomad matte. We've got Bandit Queen. Nice cool tone brown. This one's like a pale taupe, and then this one's a nice brown. And then we've got Deadwood, which I've never actually watched, and that's a nice cool toned dark brown. Kind of hard to see what I'm doing, so I apologize if I hold my fingers in a weird way. So you can see they're very soft. So that is the cool taupe. That reminds me of one of the shades in the new Natasha Denona palette, which I do have and I'm working on reviewing as well. I've got a lot of stuff that I'm working on. So there's the first three mattes. Next we've got Skinner's Saloon, which is like a pale blue gray. Calamity Jane. This one feels really nice. And Dead Man's Hand. Yes, Dead Man's Hand. Okay. Really pretty. These are really, really beautiful mattes. I really love Nomad's matte formula in general, but these are swatching beautifully. They feel really nice. So now we've got Ghost Town. Feels very silky. Stagecoach Mary, I think is what that says. Kind of hard to read from where I'm sitting. And then Arrested Decay. So these are the more green tones. This one's a nice, just cool tone shade, but like a lot grayer than those. So kind of a sage, kind of a muted green, and then a very nice gray. Okay, so let's do Tombstone. Oh, that feels really, really soft and emollient. That's really pretty. Copper Penny. These feel very creamy, wow. And then this one is Garnet Montana. Totally ruined the embossing on that one. That's really beautiful. So it's kind of a garnet color, kind of red, but like muted. It's really, really interesting. So that isn't a champagne, but there's lots of sparkle of some like cool tone in it. And then we've got the copper and the garnet shade. That's beautiful. It's like purpley and red and gray at the same time. Okay, so we've got Quicksilver. Again, very creamy, very shiny silver, but with a hint of blue. Rhyolite Nevada, I think is what that is. I like that some of them are towns. Really pretty. And then Ghost Train. These are the creamiest shadows they've ever had. This one might be kind of a duochrome. I see like red on one side of my finger and then more champagne on the other. I am running out of room. There's the blue. There is, that one's like a pinky champagne. This one's more like a warm champagne. This one's a little bit more like rose gold. And then that really beautiful Ghost Town shade. I love that. Okay, so I'm gonna have to go into my like watch marks for the greens, but whatever. So we've got Gold Rush, Calico California, and Smoky Quartz. Smoky Quartz is really beautiful. I'm excited for that. So this one is a nice gold with a hint of green, I would say. Kind of like antique gold. And then that's just a beautiful green with a gold shimmer, kind of a gold flip to it. And then Smoky Quartz. Smoky Quartz is really pretty. It's a little more satin than the rest, but with lots of sparkle. I hope that's coming across on camera. So there's the color story. Really, really beautiful. This might become my new favorite next to Hudson Valley. Okay, so welcome back to my face. Here's those swatches again, kind of hard to see, but I'm hoping you can kind of tell. So yeah, this is a little more satin, but it has blue, purple, pink, green, white. Like it has like a lot of multicolored specks. I think this would be a really beautiful, if it blends out nicely, that with maybe this shade, the Arrested Decay or something, would be a really easy, almost one and done kind of look. This green is really beautiful. I am very excited. So I'm gonna go wash my arm and I'll be right back to do the looks. Okay, so before I do the looks, I did want to compare it to the some of the other palettes that you might have from Nomad. It's gonna be very different from last year's Hudson Valley, size and color-wise, but I did want to show them side by side. I still think this is maybe my favorite palette, but this might be coming in close second. Really, really love this. This only has 3 shimmers, but I just think it's perfect. Very different though. And then here is 2 years ago. This is the Haunted Europe palette. This was discontinued earlier this year, I believe. And again, very different. This one was like fall-y tones here, winter tones here is how I kind of see it. You can see the blues are very different. This is a lot more actual navy. Greens are very different. So I think if you have this and you wanted this, they're not at all the same, but they would probably pair really beautifully together. Concealer on. So if you're curious about the rest of my makeup before I start, I have a little bit of the Givenchy concealer on, and then my Surratt Dewdrop foundation. I didn't wear any primer today. I wanted to see how it worked with just my moisturizer, and it, like every other time I've worn it, just looks like skin. So still working on forming my thoughts about everything they sent me, but very, very happy based on, you know, a few weeks of using it. Very, very happy with this foundation. I really want to try the concealer now. I haven't asked for it, but I would like to try it. And then I have the Kosas bronzer. I have the shade Sun Show, which is the medium shade. They sent this to me in PR. They were supposed to send this to me at the beginning of the summer, but it was sold out. So they just sent it to me now. Finally trying it out. Really beautiful baked bronzer. Very pigmented, but blends really nice. And then I have one of the new RMS blushes. So this is the RMS blush in Bohemian Girl, which is a little more pink in person than I thought it would be, but it's like a blush highlighter combo. Really pretty. Really liking this. I also just bought their new Illuminizer, which is kind of a universal golden champagne color for like that glow from within thing, which golden champagne glow from within they sold me. So I will hopefully be getting that soon, but this is really pretty. And then I have a little bit of my Lisa Eldridge lip gloss on, and I have my Merit lipstick here if I feel like going for that. And then for brows, Kosas just sent me their new micro brow pencil in PR. So I tried that for the second or third day. Really like it. It's very tiny, it's very natural hair-like strokes, but I'll have more thoughts once I've used it more than twice. And then my Surratt brow pomade. It's a lot of PR on my face, which is weird. It's a good weird to be getting more PR, but it's still a weird sensation. Okay, so I'm gonna try to do 3 looks. I think I want this video to go up, probably not today because it's like 2 o'clock now after breakfast and errands this morning. So I will have this up tomorrow, Monday. So I don't have time to do too much. But I think I'm gonna do 3 looks. I think I'm gonna do 1 on each eye, clean those off, hopefully not look like a crazy person. And then do 1 final look on both eyes. So I do like that they order these in kind of chunks because you have basically 3 6-pan palettes. So you can do like just neutrals, just kind of blue tones, just kind of green tones in this quad. You've got a blue quad. It's laid out very well if you need that. I am gonna jump around because I like contrast. So I think trying to decide what I want to end with. I think I want to end with using the green mattes. So I'm going to start with the blue on one eye and the neutral mattes on the other, I think. So I'm going to prime with my NARS eyeshadow base and get started. So I'm going to start with the blues, and I'm going to start with this Sigma brush. It's already stained blue permanently. I just washed all of my brushes, so they're nice and clean. But let's start with the Skinner's Saloon shade. I'm just gonna do a standard, like, work my way down in depth kind of thing. You can always start dark and go light, but I'm not gonna do that for today. So I'm gonna pick up a little bit of this more gray blue, and I'm gonna scoot in, and I'm gonna put this right here. I wanna see what this looks like on my skin tone. Really pretty, definitely gray with a blue undertone. Also wore my little skull earrings, thought that would be fitting. And so I'm just tapping that. These are very pigmented. And then kind of just tap blending it in. And then I have a fluffier brush here to really blend. Okay, and then I'm gonna go into Calamity Jane, which is more actual blue. And I'm gonna put that out here. That's pretty dark. So the dead man's hand is gonna be really dark. If you want depth, you're gonna get it in this. And these are very soft, but very pigmented and blending really nice. Like you can see the edges are already starting to blend pretty easily, which is a good sign. Yeah, the edges are blending really nicely. I don't know if that's coming across on camera as much as it is in person. So I'm just gonna keep building a little bit more here. I just didn't want to go too dark too fast. Okay, so I think that looks really good. Obviously nothing on my lid yet. And I could just leave it there, but I do want to see how dark that Dead Man's Hand shade is. So I'm gonna pick up a little bit of that on a slightly smaller brush, and I'm gonna put that right here on the very outer edge of my lid increase. It's a little bit more true blue. Like I think each shade becomes more blue as it goes down. So if you like depth in your eyeshadow looks, you can definitely get it with these blues. Okay, so I could easily do Quicksilver or something, but I think I want the contrast of the more green shimmers on this, so I'm gonna try those out. I'm gonna grab, there it is. I'm gonna grab a rougher 21 brush. Like I always say, you don't need the specific brush, but I do really like this one for shimmers because of how dense it is. So this is, I think, a mix of natural and synthetic, but you can see how thin and flat it is. And I know a lot of people use something, where is it? Like this to put down shimmers. And if it's something like a Pat McGrath metallic that you can blend really easily and blend the edges out, this is nice because you can pack it and then blend at the same time, but it's kind of fluffy and way less dense. So for a lot of shimmers, you're gonna get fallout. This I don't get fallout with. So I'm gonna pick up Calico, which the engraving is fully gone from. It is very creamy, and I'm gonna put that all over my lid. Okay, I really like that. That's gonna look nice with the neutrals and the green mattes. I'm gonna pick up a little bit of Gold Rush. These are very creamy shimmers. These are the creamiest shimmers they've ever had. I would say on par with creaminess to the multichromes that were in the Europe palette, the Royal Europe palette. They're not multichromes, but they're like, you know, that super creamy formula. And I'm just taking a little bit of Gold Rush on the inner part of the lid and blending it in to make it a little bit brighter, a little more gold right there. Okay, I really like that. And I'm just going back in with that dark blue right here, kind of over the shimmer to blend everything together. Okay, really liking that. And then I think I'm gonna take this Arrested Decay shade on this little smudgy brush, and I'm gonna put a little bit down here. I don't always put shadow underneath my eyes, but for such a dramatic blue look, I do want some, and I'm just gonna put a little bit there and blend it out. I could have put any of the blue mattes down there, but I wanted to put something else. And then I'm just taking a little bit more of Gold Rush on that same smudgy brush, and I'm gonna put it right here, just kind of playing to see what happens. Add a little bit of brightness down there. Okay, and then I just took a pencil brush and dipped into the Rhyolite Nevada shade and tapped it on my inner corner and just kind of blended it up. Okay, so now let's try the other side, and then I'll put mascara and stuff on after. So on this side, I'm gonna do the shade Bandit Queen first and just kind of see how that looks. So I'm picking that up on a rougher 1 brush. Picks up quite a bit. And I'm gonna put that right into my outer part of the crease and lid and start blending it in. I like to use, when I first try a palette, both synthetic and natural hair brushes to kind of see how they both work with it. And I definitely prefer the natural hair, but it's good to try the Sigma brushes too. This is a really pretty shade, very pigmented. That was one dip. I'm just kind of blending that out. This would be the perfect pack on the lid kind of shade. Just pack it on the lid, blend the edges if you wanted a one and done matte look. And are around my skin tone. But you can see it's a similar shape to that Sigma brush. I just prefer the natural hair. I think they pick up and blend a little bit better than any synthetic I've tried. I do want to try Angelic Unique's brand because those Singe brushes are supposed to mimic natural hair very well, but I have not bought anything yet. And that blended out really nicely. I don't really feel, you can see there's a little hint of warmth there, rosiness. I don't feel the need that I need another one, but I'm gonna take a little bit of Undead Sheriff, and I'm gonna place it here. I just wanna see what they look like next to each other. It's definitely cooler, more like cool taupe versus a warm taupe. These shades are very similar to some in the new Natasha Denona palette, which I actually have right here. The I Need a Nude. So you can see Undead Sheriff is kind of similar to Stone, and Bandit Queen is like tender but a little more rosy, but you know, one of those similar vibes, not exact shade, but it's also building up on itself. So I haven't even used the Deadwood shade. This is just Bandit Queen, and you can see I'm getting a nice blend, a nice gradient just from one shade out here. Nomad makes some of the best mattes out there. Okay, let's take a little bit of Deadwood, same brush, just tapping it right there. Okay, much darker. And then I just tapped the tiniest bit. And then blending that in to the other shade. I think I'm torn between Ghost Train and Garnet Montana, but I think I want to do Garnet Montana. So I'm gonna pick up another Rougher 21. I have like 4 of these now because I love them so much. And I don't have a code with Rougher or anything. I mean, I would like one, but I just really love their brushes. I don't have any I really like my Sonia G brushes too, but my Rougher are my, like, you know, workhorse of my brush collection. Okay, so picking up Garnet. Picked up really nicely. And I'm just gonna, because there seems to be a little bit of, like there's some flex on the brush, I'm tapping it in. If you're ever worried about fallout with a shadow, I mean, you can use your finger, but also tapping and letting your eyelid kind of grip it, let your eyelid kind of melt the shadow, let it melt into your eyes a little bit. Really, really beautiful shade. Really unique. I don't think I have anything like this. I have lots of, you know, green, gold, and blue. I don't think I have anything like this. I'm just putting it all over because it's so pretty. It's really sparkly. I hope that's coming across on camera, but also really smoky. So pretty. I'm gonna take a little bit of Ghost Train that's a little bit brighter. And I'm gonna put that right here just to see the two next to each other. Ghost Train's a little more purple and a little brighter. I love how Nomad metallics kind of melt into each other too, and because they all have so much sparkle to them, and it's not just one color, like this has pink, gold, white, kind of a blue, it has some kind of quicksilver kind of color to it. They blend, I think that helps when it adds a lot of dimension without being necessarily shifty, but it also helps them blend and melt into each other because they have shared sparkle color and they just kind of fuse together nicely. I will be wearing this look to work soon. Well, it's back into like the 80s and hot and smoky, like air quality is bad. So I haven't been wearing makeup to work as much because it's just too hot, but as the weather starts to cool down, I think this is gonna be a go-to look for me. I didn't mean this one to be as big and dramatic, but whatever. But this is gonna be a go-to. And then I'm taking a little bit of Bandit Queen and just running it right there. Not even the whole under eye, just right here. And then the same brush, blend the edges. Okay. I'm gonna touch up my concealer right here, put a little mascara on, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back, and this is the finished first two looks. Really love these. I'm more drawn to this. It's a little, I think I just did a better job on this one, honestly. I like the tones here a lot. I love these shimmers. The mattes blended beautifully. I've just been in the mood for this kind of a look more, softer, everyday than I have been for colorful. But I think the greens with these green shimmers, or the neutrals with these shimmer, like even just bronzer with these green shimmers would be really beautiful. So really excited to keep playing with these. Really love both of these. And I went ahead and added a little bit of 1990 from Merit. Cool tone brown, felt like it fit with both. Really, really like this. I hope it's coming across. I'll try to get a little clip and insert it here before I wash this off so you can kind of see some of that sparkle, but really happy with these. So let me know what you think of these, and I will be right back to do look number 3. I'm gonna go wash these off, sadly. Okay, so I'm back for the third and final look. I used the Lisa Eldridge cleanser. I used the tiniest bit and rubbed it around my eyes to remove my eye makeup because my cellar water just doesn't do the trick for me, and it's also very irritating. And then I touched up with a little bit more concealer and stuff. Actually, no, I just used more of the Dewdrop. But very, very happy with this first two looks. That one with, what was it, the Montana shade? Yeah, Garnet Montana. I will be wearing that basic look over again. So now I need to try the green mattes and figure out a shimmer there. So let's start. I'm gonna grab a different Rephr brush. This is a different Rephr one. And I'm gonna go into Stagecoach Mary, the mid-tone kind of dusty muted green. And I'm gonna put that on my outer crease and outer lid. And I just have more of the NARS primer down, and I'm just putting that right here. That is really beautiful. That is opaque, smooth, everything you want in a matte. I'm just patting that out here and into the crease and blending in. I want to do something that I would wear kind of every day, like a colorful everyday look. So I did the really smoky look, I did the very bold, colorful look, and now I want to do kind of a daily, my daily friendly, colorful neutral. That's kind of how I would describe this. And then I'm gonna pick up on the same brush just a little bit of Ghost Town and run it in my crease and use it to blend out So I'm putting it right here where I don't really have any of Stagecoach. And then I'm using it to just blend Stagecoach out. And what I'm doing is I'm putting the tip of the brush right into my crease to place things, and then I'm turning it to blend. So it blends just above my crease so that when I'm looking, so when I'm looking normally with my, you know, partially hooded eyes, you can still see the color. And there might be some stray sparkles here and there from the previous looks, but it doesn't really bother me. Okay, really like that. Being a little bit more of Stagecoach right here and blending that out, and then I'm gonna go do this on the other side. Okay, so I've got those green tones all over my lid. Obviously you could go in with the green shimmers and do kind of a more monochromatic look. These are very muted kind of sage colors, which I really like. You could put smoky quartz all over the lid, which I do want to do soon. I just don't have time to do a 4th or 5th look. So if you want more looks, let me know and I can do a second video. But I think I want to try maybe Copper Penny and Tombstone, and put those all over the lid and have more neutral metallics. You know what? I've changed my mind. I'm not going to use the copper shade. It is really pretty, but I just can't not use smoky quartz. So I'm going to do smoky quartz. So I'm picking that up on my Refer 21. I'm going to place that on my lid and see how that looks. I might incorporate a little bit of another shade as well. And you can see this one's definitely less shiny, and it's definitely pulling the blue out now that it's on my eye and on my skin tone. Pretty. And there's a bit of a blue to the green shimmers, so I think this will work really nicely. I'm just going to diffuse the edges a little bit. And I'm using that same Sigma brush because it's small. It's like the same shape as the Refer, but a little smaller. Because this is the E27, the detailed blending. And yeah, I was right. This does because it's a little less metallic and a little less shiny, the edges do diffuse really nicely. More like the shimmers I've been wearing lately, because I've been wearing a lot of, you know, Surratt and Pat McGrath and those like higher end shimmers that don't tend to be as in your face metallic. Okay. I really like that. It's not as sparkly and not as shiny, but there is a lot of multi-dimensional sparkle there. I really like that. Let's see if I use my finger, if it's a little bit more. Yeah, my finger definitely amps up the metallic factor a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna do this in the other eye and I will be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and did that on the other eye, and I put a little bit of Rhyolite Nevada on the very, very inner part of the lid, inner corner right here. And I'm just taking my concealer brush and kind of tapping the edges to kind of add that little lift and clean up the edge. And now I'm gonna go and put mascara on, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I am back, and this is the finished look. I think I'm gonna take a little bit more of that Rhyolite shade and put it on the inner corner, but I did put mascara on. I'm gonna put a little bit of this right down here too, just to add a little bit more brightness, because this is a darker, smoky look. Okay, wow, got a little in my eye. So really happy with this. Love the way these tones look together. Like I said, this is not, let me grab a flashlight real quick. So like I said, this is not as shiny and metallic as the other shades, but it does have a lot of sparkle. So let's see if I can shine a light and get that to show up. You can kind of see, I'm just using my husband's phone because I couldn't find a real flashlight. Yeah, in person, you just see little specks of multi-dimensional sparkle that are just really pretty. Like if I hold the flashlight up to the palette, you can kind of see around the edge, there you go, where I haven't smeared my hand. You can see all of that sparkle in there. I mean, you can see a lot of the shades sparkle a lot more with direct light. Really, really happy with this look. I didn't really put anything on my lower lash line because it's so smoky. I didn't want to like overwhelm it, but really, really like this. So let me know what you think of this look. I think this is my favorite so far. This is definitely an everyday look for me. It's smoky, but not too smoky. I like wearing smoky eyes all the time. I think it just works with my eye and my eye shape. So really like this. I think this is my favorite. The one where I used Garnet, my second favorite. And then the blue one is my third favorite just because I haven't been in the mood for super colorful looks lately, but I do really want to use this calico shade over like the greens that I'm wearing now and like bronzer or some neutral mattes. So for my first impression, final thoughts, I love this. I think this is really great quality. I think the mattes are super, super pigmented, but blend really nice. They're really silky soft. The shimmers are all beautiful. Smoky Quartz is the only one that's not as creamy as the rest, but I still really love it. And then it diffused really nicely because it's a little less creamy and textured. And the rest are just, if you really like, you know, indie metallic shades, you're gonna love these. I think this is a really, really great palette. I am very thankful that they sent this to me. So like I said, I can do more looks, like a multi-looks video. If people are interested, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just keep playing with it off camera and give you more thoughts later when I've used it more, you know, at the end of the month when I come wrap things up. But really, really like this so far. So like I said, this does launch, I think it's technically tonight of when this video is going up, slash tomorrow morning. And it'll be $49 before discount code. So my code BONES, like I said, is non-affiliated, so I don't earn money from it, but it saves you 10%, so that's $4, basically $5. Really, really like this. I think Nomad did a great job. I think they outdid themselves. I love their fall releases the most, and I think fall to winter releases are my favorite from them, and I just really, really love this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. I want to hear your thoughts on the palette, the color story, all of that, if you're gonna pick it up or not. As always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.